Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope all is well. Hope you're having a great start to your morning. I am Jamie Irvin. I am your host for this morning. And we are ready to get this party started. If you have any tickers that you would like looked at today, please do drop them in the box as soon as you can. So let's get this party started. We're going to start with U.S. numbers unchanged. The VIX, though, is 16.36. It is up 9.21%. Don't forget CPI is coming out today. So that's one thing that we're waiting for. Good morning, Tanya Davis. Good morning, Tamar Jackson and Patrick Renee. Good morning. Ticker PR, got you. So usually when we see the VIX increasing, chances are we're going to see the markets down. It all just depends. But as of right now, or at least last reported, the Russell 2K was up 0.34%. The stocks futures rise marginally as key March inflation report looms. That's going to be coming up a little bit later. Asia is mostly down. Wow. What is that? 60% down. ASX 200 up 0.31%. The Nikkei down 0.48%. Kospi, Korea down 0.46%. HSI, Hong Kong up the most, 1.85%. Shanghai was down the most at 0.70%. Asian markets mostly fall as Japan corporate inflation climbs. New Zealand holds rates. For Europe, everybody was down. Okay. The DAX was down 0.51%. FTSE down 0.09%. CAC down 0.85%, which was the most of the group. FTSE MIB, which is Milano, down 0.62%. And Stock 600 down 0.58%. The European markets higher ahead of U.S. inflation data. Oh, chocolate maker Barry Celebalt up 9%. Okay. We got the futures. As of right now, this has the Dow futures down 1.06%. The S&P futures down 1.25%. And the NAS futures down 1.26%. Right? You're waiting for the CPI stuff to kick off, so there's a little bit of something happening. That's the way it works. Good morning, Janae. Good morning, Marcia Dawson. Marion Richburg. Good morning, Cizaline. Good morning. All right. We got the USD. We had 3 red stars this morning at 8:30. They all came up green, but it was a core CPI month over month, the CPI month over month, and the CPI year over year. You got a yellow folder, 8:45, FOMC member Bowman speaks. 10 o'clock, the final wholesale inventory. So Bowman already spoke. Final wholesale inventory is up next, month over month. Those are yellow folders. 10:30 is crude oil inventories, yellow folder. That's the bell. 12:45, we got FOMC member Barkin speaking. So Barkin will be barking at 12:45, orange folder. At 1:01, the 10-year bond auction, orange folder. Then at 2 o'clock, we got the FOMC meeting minutes, and that's a red folder. So we still got orange and red folders happening after noon, after the noon time frame. The USD federal budget balance is a yellow folder. All right, yellow folder. So we're not out of the woods at any time during the day, is the way it seems to me. Good morning, B. Spencer. Now that was for Forex Factory. As you know, we have a lot more data as it relates to investing.com. So they had the 30-year mortgage rate. That was a 1-star. The NBA 30-year mortgage rate. The applications week over week, those also 1-star. This was all at 7 o'clock. The NBA purchase index, also 1-star, as well as the market index and refinance index as well, all 1-star. At 8:30, we had a run of things. Obviously, the core CPI year over year for March, month over month for March. Both of those were the 2 and 3 stars. The CPI index for March was 1-star. The CPI month over month for March was 3 stars, as well as the year over year for March. So that's when you get into the one side says red folder, the other site says 3 stars. But it means that it's impact regardless of what they're or how they're measuring it. The CPI index NSA for March and the SA for March, both 1 stars, as well as the NSA month over month for March. The real earnings month over month for March, 1 star as well. All that was at 8:30. At 8:45, of course, FOMC member Bowman spoke, 2 stars. 10 o'clock, though, wholesale inventories month over month for February, 1 star here. The wholesale trade sales month over month for February is 1 star. But we got the 3 stars for the crude oil inventories. That's at 10:30. So this one is reporting 3 stars for that. At 10:30, the EIA refinery crude runs week over week is a 1 star, as well as the crude oil imports. Also, the Cushing crude oil inventories is 2 stars at 10:30. Then we have a run of 1 stars, which is the distillate fuel production, EIA weekly distillate stocks, gasoline production, and heating oil stockpiles, as well as the EIA weekly refinery utilization rates. So, and then also we have gasoline inventories. So all of that is the 10 o'clock. All of that was 1 star. 11 o'clock, we got the CPI, Cleveland CPI month over month for March. And then the 11 o'clock is also when these two are 1 stars, Thomson Reuters, Ipsos, PCSI for April. 12:45, Fed Goolsbee speaks. Barkin is barking at 12:45. Both of those are 1 stars. Then at 1 o'clock over here, we have a 3-star 10-year note auction. A 2-star at 2 o'clock, we have the 2-star federal budget balance for March. And then 3 stars for the FOMC meeting minutes. So that's 2 o'clock. The federal budget balance for March and the FOMC meeting minutes. So even starting at 1 o'clock, we got this 3-star, 2-star, 3-star. So even over here, they're still, registering that as something that's going to be significant. Okay. Good morning, Adrian Dupree. So we got activity happening. The first thing we want to do is switch on over to we got some things that we will be charting. We're going to look at the indexes first. Let's jump on over to SPX real quick and do our 15-minute thug thizzle. Get our trading thizzle. All right. Gap down. Kaboom. Right there. So close of yesterday was what? 5209. So we got this drop for today. So we're going to mark this with purple. I mean to do that. I usually mark it with purple on mine, so we're going to do that. And next, we're going to take a look at Mancini numbers as well and see what those numbers are looking like. So on my chart, purple just represents a gap up or a gap down, so I can see that clearly. So something's going on with my, there you go. So that's the gap. This is going to change. These lines right here are going to be for Mancini once we get over there. But and also, since we're already here, we might as well take a start marking our lines for the breakout, even though it's not now will not have broken out yet. But just put the line at the top and the bottom because we will probably be moving that at some point, right? So we got the gap, and then we got the beginning of the breakout that's happening. All right, on SPX. Let's flip over to Mancini because then we'll be putting our next set of numbers on there. Mancini right here. I got yesterday afternoon. I was looking for a pre-CPI rally in SPX to 52.13, 52.24. We hit 52.22 and have been basing all night. Size down to protect profits ahead of CPI. Hold risk-free runners. The plan today, 52.24, 52.38, 52.52 next up. On any CPI traps, bulls want to hold 51.96, 51.80. All right, so 51.96, 51.80. So there's a couple different ways to do that. But I'll say we'll do 51.96, 96, and we'll do 51.80. All right. So we've got, then we'll do the lower numbers, put a couple lower numbers in here so we'll know what we're going to drop to. So let's say we'll put 51.80 at the bottom. That's the lowest number. And I'll do 52.52. 51.80 and 52.52. So that's the lowest number, 51.80. And again, we're just putting this on the chart so we can see what's going on. 52.52. 52. All right. I'm seeing that a couple of these don't look like they showed up. Let's try this again. Oh, it looks like it's on the same line. Got it. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to bring this down just a tad bit. 51.80, just so we can see the line a little bit right up under there. All right. So that's the gap. This is the Mancini's higher number. This is the lower number. And then actually these two is crossed up, but let's see here. Lower number should be this. That's the lower number for Mancini. 51 would have been 51.80. Is that right? Right up here. We'll do it that way. And we'll move this down to here because this is for the breakout. That's the way that's supposed to look. All right. We'll switch these. I'll switch these around, these line colors around a little bit later. Actually, you know what? I better do it now because we're going to be coming back to this chart. So we'll just do it this way. Mancini. Do it that way. It'll be a little bit more clear what's happening. And So we got a couple of different levels like happening at the same time, you could say, crossing each other, et cetera, et cetera. This is the gap. So you can change that to gap. So now we have that. We can watch and see what all the things are that's going to be happening. This is where price is right now, hitting that this is the bottom of the gap so far. So it has been pushing down. Right here is on 420. I'm sorry, 4/4, which is April 4th. This is the last time price was down this far. So it gapped past its two previous lows, right? And this is where it's sitting right now. Of course, waiting for the CPI data to come out. Do not be surprised if it goes in either direction. To be honest with you, we can get, with the CPI stuff, I mean, that was not bad news at all, but that doesn't mean that the stock will shoot up just because it wasn't horrible news. But lower, we got 51.32. Under 51.32, there's a gap right here as well. So there's still some support a little bit further down. If we choose to go down, look at that. So we still have another gap right here. Right. So even if it goes through, there's still some support. All right. So earnings. Here's what we have. This morning, before market, was Delta Airlines, which we're gonna chart Delta just to look at their chart. Applied Blockchain and Thera Technologies. After close today is Rent the Runway, Richardson Electronics, and Lakeland Industries. Before open tomorrow was Constellation Brands, CarMax, Fastenal, Lovesac, Cons Home Plus, Hooker, and NTI. They're all before open tomorrow. After close, there's nothing on Thursday. And then Friday, the bank stepped to the plate. JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, CD. You got Progressive Insurance in there and State Street. So Friday will be interesting. Good morning, Karen C. Friday will be interesting. All right. So let us take a look. See. So for yesterday, this is what happened with SPX. It gapped up at its open, turned around, started dropping, and came back into the area where it dropped from, really, and it closed pretty much closer to where it opened. So when we see that, just by looking at this, that means that the body candle for yesterday on the daily chart, the body of it is probably going to be closer together with probably a little bit of a wick at the bottom, just because these prices opened and closed closer together. But where it retested yesterday, this area right here, where it retested here and was here, back here on April 5th, that was a level that it previously tested. And then, of course, right here, it was on the 4th, which is where it retested today. That's where it's at. And then we talked about the next one down. That's 319, March 19th. That's the level here. And then this one right here, depending on where you want to set this. But the reason I set that there is because this is where it stopped. There's like 3 dots right here, which is normally signifying, I guess, the start of the after hours. But this is where it closed. So that's why I put it there. So this one, it gapped up, started filling this gap, bounced off of this. So that means down the road, anytime you see these turnaround points, that's stuff that we might see later down the road, as you can see here. It may be support, maybe resistance, but this was support when it gapped up, and when it came back down, the sellers pushed it right past there. All right. So in order to get that gap down, that means there's a rush of orders that made it break past this low, and it went down past another low. So we're watching with keeping a watchful eye. Well, make no mistake about it, you can expect to see some type of movement, of course, once those minutes come out for CPI. Even before then, we might see some movement, but I expect to see some type of movement during the day. For those, well, it's a little bit too soon to be looking at where to get in. I usually wait a little bit of time before I even start investigating. So let's look at we'll look at Russell 2000, and then we'll take a look at some of the movers this morning. Tesla being one of them. This is Russell 2000. So I'm gonna clear these up for y'all because I was doing some charting last night. So Russell 2000, small cap stocks is what they're known for. Again, same thing. Any index that we look at right now is going to show us this huge gap. So we're going to still mark the gap on Russell 2000. Just like we did on the. We're going to duplicate this. Right. So that's a nice size gap down. I trade the breakout. Well, really more so the PDT hack is called. On Reuters. I keep calling it Reuters. On Russell 2000. And so I still look at the 15-minute and all that other stuff, just like I do on SPX. Right here is a previous low that it broke through right now today. And again, this is on the 15-minute chart that we're looking at this. So I'll just go ahead and mark this with these colored candles. All right. Then there's another one below that, smaller one. And we go down. There's two of them down here, but I'll mark this one right here first. So as we continue down, I'm literally just looking at these levels that we bounced at. And this was a level before as well. That was resistance right there. So I'll go ahead and put that up there. And I'm going to zoom in on this. Sorry. So really, I'm just going through. I'm just looking at where all did we turn around down here. So then that's where I'm marking it. So when I'm at current price, I can see on the 15-minute chart what has happened. And I'm actually just looking to see this is what I'm looking for. What are the other levels heading down just in case? So we got some more down here. We got a gap. So this is down to 1983. So obviously people are going to say, well, 1983 meaning the price, not the year. So somebody will, probably say, we ain't dropping that far down. Listen, they say, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I'm prepared to watch. Right here, I'll be watching to see what it does. This is 2028 in terms of the price. So if it gap down from here to here, there's no reason why CPI won't cause it to have some issues. So this is Russell. Oh, I keep saying is Russell. Yeah, it is Russell. I was right that time. And so this is what it did yesterday when it opened. It actually 2 sessions ago, it opened and then closed lower than it opened. And then it gapped up for the last session and then closed closer to where it opened. So same thing as SPX. And if you're wondering, this is what it looks like on the monthly view, trending up, overall, especially recently. I would say overall, technically it's on a downtrend if you're judging it by its highs. But the last few months or so, you can put that into the last year. Since September, it's been on a run up. And what's SPX at? This is SPX on the monthly chart. And this is what it's doing. All right. So there may be some pullback, but that's to be expected when it's running high like this. Let us look at a couple top movers from this morning. One was Tesla. And I know somebody on here is charting Tesla. This is the monthly view of Tesla. There's a seller zone right here at 233. 233 right there. I really don't see a good buy zone except for this one over here that I would like. But this would be just one revisit. But it looks like Tesla is it looks like it's possibly going to turn around. This was the last spot that it turned around right here. So there's no reason why I can't. I'm just going to put this in here. So this is in a seller zone. All right. So I was seeing that. We'll go up, and we're going to put this on up right around here, I would say. It is the most amount of touches near that line. It's been right there. So I'm cool with putting it right there. And then we'll drop one more at the bottom in case Tesla falls. So we'll at least have the monthly view looked at. And I'm going to set that there because this line stopped here and this line stopped here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there. All right. So that's the monthly. Now, Tesla's recently on a downtrend on the monthly view, right? This is coming down this way, which is what I'm going to use for the weekly. But if you look at it from this perspective, even on the monthly, that's a downtrend. And the thing to keep in mind about all of these, at least all of these stocks, you know, regardless of how well the company is doing, that doesn't mean that the stock price is always going to be going up. Now, mind you, Tesla has been having some, issues, much like Boeing. Tesla has been having some issues, getting sued, all kind of stuff. Every time you look around, there's some extra news about it. So the stock prices, but in terms of the EV space, they're still considered the standard. So their stock price will fluctuate. It has been volatile for as long as I remember. So that's what it looks like on the monthly. I went ahead and did the weekly from the monthly just to see what it would look like. And this is pretty much it. Right? So from the monthly view, when I looked at the weekly, it's not really that far off. A couple pop outs, but really all you could do is just take this line and angle it down a little bit, but pretty much got the gist of what we're trying to do. Get us a couple touches here. We good. Do the same thing down here. And actually, I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with this one. Might have popped out a little bit, but that's fine. You can bring it down if you so choose. The important thing is understanding where all these touches are. Making sure that there's multiple touches happening, which they are in this case. You could very well, keep going down that far, but I see the most amount of touches in the area about right here on the weekly. So I'm okay with that. Let me see. Move this and see. All I'm doing is just setting the trend line and looking at what Tesla is doing on a more recent time frame from the monthly, which is way closer, obviously. The weekly is way closer than the monthly, so let's put a yellow one on there. Yeah, so both of these lines, you could do this however you want to do it. The important thing is that you're capturing the range of where the prices is going currently. That's really the whole point of all of this, is making sure you can just tell this is a downtrend. You know, we can consider this a channel, if you will. So no matter where we put those lines, just make sure you got a few touches to establish a trend. Usually two touches or more in the same direction. My understanding is that is enough to establish that a trend is happening. So there should be no questions on what's going on. This is a daily chart. Jesus Christ. I've been having this problem with Thinkorswim lately. I'll click one time frame on my chart, and it'll switch automatically to the one that I didn't choose. It's been happening. Somebody recently said that it was an upgrade. It recently did an upgrade, and that time frame coincides with the issues I'm having. So I may have to do a reinstall. But so this is what I got for the daily. These lines should be green for the daily on my chart. Same thing though, same concept. Still trending down. And then we might as well zoom this in. And I mean, Tesla has hit a low, like, well, not all-time low, but it is right here at a point where monthly, and well, technically weekly too. Monthly, weekly, daily, all the charts are aligning in this area, converging in this area, if you will. A traditional buyer zone would probably be right about here. So we're going to take a look at the options chain in a second and see. We were trying to get into Tesla. What would be where we start our investigation? And I phrased it that way on purpose. Where we start our investigation, because I'm not qualified to give you any investment advice, but I am qualified to suggest where you can start investigating for yourself, player. All right. So I'm looking at that. And to be honest with you, there's no great seller zone right now for Tesla, but I do see this gap right here. So there's a gap up here where it gapped down. It has retested this gap already right there. So if I'm doing the seller zone, what I'll be doing is simply leg in this middle one as the base, middle candle as a base, and the leg out. So I'll be doing that as a cheer. That's one version of it, because this is where it's retesting. So I'll be looking at something like that, because there's really not too much else in this area that's down here. But up here on the daily chart, we got activity, a strong leg out up here. So that's what I'm seeing. And now that ends up being like four in the base. Leg in, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the base, and the leg out. But this is a strong leg in, strong leg out. There's a gap. Then there's that buyer zone. Get in the zone, buyer zone. So we got a one revisit right here. If I'm not mistaken, something like that. So gap, seller zone, buyer zone right here. If it falls through, let's see what we got. Of course, so we got a gap down here. That's the one thing I will say about Tesla that has always made me hesitant about trading it, is that I noticed how often there's a gap in the chart, and it's regular. Like, for real. If you go back and just take a look, expect you'll see it more on the daily and the weekly. Man, time you look around, there's another gap being formed. All right. So on my chart, these double lines like this, that's just letting me know that those are the levels in the past. There has been some activity. Like here again, the turnaround is a turnaround here where it was, this used to be resistance. Up here was support. So I know that something happened there if it starts coming back down. So I didn't necessarily try to buyer's zone back here, but this is a leg in, I would say 2 in the base and then a gap up. And that's what this is trying to feel right now is the space from here. So even though this may not be considered a traditional leg out, there was still a gap up there and it still created the space. So I will still be marking it even if it's not a traditional setup. So if we're looking at, I'm scared to look at Tesla on the 4-hour. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, better than I expected. This is a buyer seller zone right up here. And let's see, we'll do it this way. Maybe hop on over to the option chain, see what we're looking at. See what we're talking about. See what the digits is saying. All right. You can include this wick in this area as part of the zone. All right. You can go like that. Neighboring candle. In terms of the buyer zone, I don't see anything that looks that great. Technically, I guess if you would have seen this as a chair right here on the 4-hour, it would be going through that anyway. If you saw this as a buyer zone, small leg in, base leg out. What I will mark though is that something is obviously happening right here. So I'm going to put this line here just to at least say we got some activity. And then, of course, this is the daily. So it's bouncing off the daily as well. We actually went through that line, went through that daily zone, but it didn't go all the way through the bottom of it. So we got some activity right here. Let's look at. So if I'm on the daily, what am I? Depending on what how you plan on holding it, or obviously since it's down here, I would be looking. I guess you can do, if you assuming that's going to continue going down, you can do a call created spread up here. If you think that it won't drop, but it's CPI, so I wouldn't even. I'll be waiting until after the FOMC minutes come out to mess with Tesla, because it's already volatile. So there's no telling what could happen. But I would look at both sides of that. So let's take a look. See, assuming that we would be closing, because you notice that it's got the first, it has one spread here. Then once you hit about 150, and this is under price. Once you hit about 150, now you talking start switching up to a 2.5 spread, and it starts doing that all up in here. So there's higher premiums. I don't think Tesla is already higher in terms of spreads, but it definitely fluctuates. Sometimes it'll be 1, sometimes it'll be 2, and I think I've seen as much as a 5 spread before. But if we are looking here, we're going to say we do 171 current price. So this is just to investigate where you might want to start looking to get in. We are sellers here, so we are looking at credit spreads. All right, 171.8. I usually just do 172, but 171.8, and then we're going to subtract this implied volatility number. That's going to tell us what number we have to get below to start looking. 166, right? So that's the current price minus this volatility number, 166. So we would need to be at 165. All right. This is the 83% out of the money. There's an 83% chance that this will expire out the money. So this is $27, if you will. If you want to, 27 cents is how we say it, but you can always, increase the number here if you so choose. I'm gonna let it ride. We'll see what we're gonna do. Now, again, I'm putting this in my SAM account because I want to see what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen with CPI? So that's why I'm gonna go ahead and do it in my SAM. Y'all know it never feels that fast in real life. Well, it rarely feels that fast in real life. 180 is at the top. 172, really 170. I'll say 173 plus 6 would be like 179. So I'm gonna put that at about 180. There's an 84% chance of this expiring out the money. I'm looking at this probability right here, OTM. Probability OTM. That's under option theoreticals and Greeks. I build my legs on my spreads with seller leg, then buyer leg here. That's how I get the spread. This is also in the $20 range as well. So we'll do, that means it's fluctuating, and with that bounce, it's kind of in between there. But again, we know, this is going off for Friday anyway, but this is the Iron Condor. I'm on both sides. The price, it can only expire in one spot. But so far with this 2.5 spread, we are trying to get, so far the first one that was filled at 26. It's about what? A little over 10% return on collateral, at least getting into the trade. So, yeah. I see, hello, Janae. I see, happy midweek to you too. What's up, Marion? Netflix, want to see how resilient it is. No problem. No problem. We'll get to that. So that's what I got for Tesla. We'll watch this and see what ends up happening. Let us, we're in it. We're in. I'm gonna wait to see what CPI gonna do. We're gonna swing back over to SPX real quick. We are still in our challenge. The challenge for options 411. Alyssa, are you available? I don't know if can people still sign up for that? If not, I got it back up.
Yes, people can still sign up for it if they like, definitely before tomorrow. I'm going to teach charting tomorrow, so I want to make sure that we have that if, whoever's riding with us is at least riding by then, but definitely they can still sign up.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
When we ride, and when she say riding, we doing Lamborghinis. We're not doing, I'm just saying, we want to ride in style, player.
Lamborghinis, is that style? I need something like a full-size vehicle that's a comfortable ride.
Fine, a Bentley, Jesus.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay, so if we can still, when is the date under which you're not accepting any more reservations? Or
I think today, tomorrow, between today and tomorrow, because our lesson, is tomorrow night. So today and tomorrow really should be the cutoff.
Okay.
Unless the person you're bringing on already is into charting and already, knows charting pretty well, then it could be longer. But if they're new, then they really should get in before we do tomorrow's session.
Okay. So thank you for that. So if you are unable, what can they do? I got a solution though. If they're not able to make it for this particular boot camp.
I mean, you can always sign up for the boot camp and still be able to watch the replays. If
Okay.
they want to do it live with us, then I won't say they should probably wait till the next go round, but we've got plenty, so they can still sign up
That's
and be
wisdom.
involved.
All right. Well,
We got
what we
a lot of
do,
videos,
what
but many times people don't necessarily want to do videos alone. They'd rather be in a group.
got it.
Hmm.
Agreed. If you want to know, you being the people that are on the call right now, if you are so inclined and want to at least get an idea of what the boot camp does and what it's about, you probably have already noticed in our video section, we have the options for 1 2-day boot camp. So that is in there as well. So you can definitely check that out. That's a great resource. I am looking for the link to be able to drop in there, but we always have that as an option. It is in our, you'll see it in probably in the playlist, but that'll give you a really good idea on what you can expect from the Fuller Boot Camp. It'll go over the basics. All right. So we have here the breakout. There has not been a breakout yet. So we're about 3 bars in. Clearly, the buyers and the sellers are fighting a little bit. So there hasn't been any major swing in any particular direction. So we'll be keeping an eye on Tesla. At least I will, just to see how this trade ends up going. There's no telling what most of this stuff is going to do this afternoon, but some of the banks are saying there will be a cut. Other banks are saying there won't be. You know how that goes. We'll do SOX. We'll do also Netflix. We're going to put Netflix on here. Add Netflix to the group. All right. So we got SOSX. SOSX is in the same family, you could say, as the same family as SOXL in terms of semiconductors. The difference is this is the bear BEAR, the bear 3 times bear is what they call it, ETF. So we're checking out what's happening when you got the down glide. And it is definitely on the down glide. All right. So we're going to do, and there's a bunch of these, of course, as you would expect, semiconductor ETFs. Okay. All right. So that's SOXS. It is in the channel. It is trying to see what the next level down. Well, that's why. This is the monthly version, and this is at the super low point. This is flatlining, dude. This ain't even life support no more. This is like when it's when it's on. Like, dude, I wasn't expecting to see that. And that's what it's doing. This is the weekly version, but it's in that channel. There's a buyer zone up here, but man, dude, I don't know if I've seen lows that low. So we got that going on. Just to put it into context, this is SOXL, right? So that bear version is the flip. And this is on the upswing. This is what SOXL looks like on monthly, running up. So the bear, you get to flip it, and yeah, I mean, I guess that's the shorting version. I don't know how to. I don't know if that's the right phrasing for it, but I just know the bull is mean going up and the bear means it's going down. I don't see SOXS that often. Um, Probably because semiconductors are normally running up, unless there's something else going on, COVID and that kind of thing. But that's what's happening with this. So, uh, yeah, which will explain why it's so low, because it's the opposite. And SOXL is running high right now, but I just have not seen a chart where the out view of it in semiconductors, even on the bear ones. So that shows you how well they're doing. If the bear is dropping like this, that means it's the bull is doing the opposite. So that's just a funny looking line. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's happening right there. It is in the channel as well. Some people trade the opposite because everybody's got their reason. I don't trade the shorts, the I call them the opposite, but the bear versions probably should, but I'm good so far. Till I feel like I got a handle on this other stuff. I'm not adding anything extra. For the sell zone for the daily, got it right here at 366. Sell for the daily. It is forming the third leg out right here, but I probably would be over here, leg in. I would do probably 2 in the base right there. Well, I guess it would be 3 in the base. Leg in, 3 in the base. 4 in the base, because these little wicks right here throwing everything off. Other than that, I probably would go to a 4-hour just to see. Yep. So I'll be charting this right here, because those little choppy little, indecision candles, I'm not really feeling them usually. So I'd much rather go to a different time frame that has candles that have a better looking formation or a more clearer one. And that's what this is. There's a couple different ways you can do this, but I'm going to do 2 in the base. Some people might bring it down even further, because this will be a gap up, and do gap as a leg in and then leg out, still taking advantage of the large leg out. Because this middle candle is basically the same length as that first one, I'd rather just put it in the base, have them, both of them in there. All right, let's do that. Do that. Here we go. And then not too much going on. It's at least on the 4-hour for the seller zone. But if we're doing something, I'm probably doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I would rather do 4 in the base right here. That's where price is bouncing off that anyway. But do something like that just to have it. And we'll do the same thing when we look at the options chain. Because of CPI and a couple other things, there could very well be a switch up. This is to expire on the 12th. There are no premiums that I see right now. Looking right here. Yeah, you got zilch. Let's see what the 19th is looking like. Zilch. All right. In terms of credit spreads, yeah, you got nothing. Jeez Louise. You got to go like, man, 3 weeks out before you see anything. No, I would say there are no good premiums on this. So I probably wouldn't mess with it. I'm going to say probably I wouldn't mess with it. Because even if you're not, even if you're in the froggy section of trading and you like to get close to price, still no premiums. So let me see. Yeah, no, not happening. Okay, hate to boot you to the curb, SOXS, but we can't see how you gonna be profitable, pimp. Let's go Netflix. See what you talking about, Netflix. Okay, Netflix. All right, let's go. Let's go. On a crazy run up to it looks like it might be trying to find this level. This is a very solid this is the monthly. It's a very solid zone right here for the seller zone. Can't get no more classic than that. Right down here, leg in, base, leg out. There's a seller zone. And then if you want to use this, do this as a chair, leg in, base, leg out as the chair. Right. So there's a couple spots. If you notice this particular chair it's coinciding with where it turned around before. Right. Just turn around because I would be marking this right now anyway, just because of where it turned around. I would be marking this zone as a turnaround point. But here's a seller zone for that area. But it is seeing some buyers. I'm sorry, some sellers up here. These two lines is the weekly, right? So that's why I channel for the weekly. It is really basing up here in this 650. What is it? 586 to 640. I mean, there's a chair right here on the weekly too. Leg in, you could probably do 2 in the base, leg out, or depends on how you like to chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 in the base, leg in, like 4 in the base and the leg out. But either way, the leg in here, base, leg out. There's enough in here to have some support, but it is definitely pushing up against a strong price point in here. So, and in fact, I would say it has broken out a little bit from this high. It's actually broken out of that. Like it's having trouble getting up past it, but whether or not it'll stay, this is probably like the retest phase, I guess you could say, as it tries to keep heading up. This is the daily view of it. Yep. So the daily view is just saying that that it broke past. It couldn't make it through. Did not. It was doing its best to make it in, but it is definitely coming up on the rough side of the mountain, Chief. So this line is broken past that. So let's do this. A pullback at Netflix, at least from what I could tell, is no reason to panic quite yet. Every time I think they're gonna be heading down for a long period of time or something, some bad news come out, quote unquote bad news. I thought that the writer's strike was gonna impact them more than it did. But the way they set everything up, they coasted right through it. So we have what's going on here? Do it that way. All right. We have this. And again, when we look at the options chain, we're judging by what we're seeing before CPI. I'm not getting into anything in my live today, honestly. Sim, yeah, but live, not having it. Don't need no extra smoke in my life today. So to me, leg in, 1, 2, 3 in the base, leg out. That's a strong formation. Leg in, 1 in the base, leg out. That leg out is strong. It's forming something here. This is a zone on top of a zone as far as I'm concerned. So it's bound to pop out in some direction coming up soon, is the way it looks to me. Yeah, this was a break as well, but so it can either continue down or turn around and come roaring back up. And this is the 4-hour version, and there's a cheer right here on the 4-hour. This is at 617. There's a cheer right there. So let's take a look. Can be able to swing back over to SPX to see if SPX is behaving. Let's see. 13, 5. So what is that? 628. About 629. If we go to the top, so I would say 630 is how I would do it. It's 80% out of the money if you do 630. This is a 2.5 spread. 630, 632.5. If you want to do that 80%, or what I'll be for more comfortable with 63.2, 632.5. I'll be a little more comfortable with that for the spread. All right, there you go. Keep hitting the wrong button. Just trying to hit. There you go. So this will be 632.5. Again, I will get into this because it's the sim. I'm going by the numbers. 85% out of the money is what this is saying. When up here at the top, because of where it's located currently, I like to kind of get away from what's happening sometimes. But since it is in the buyer zone, it is really in the middle between the two. There's also a buyer zone. Well, let's say a support price line over here. So there's even more support under this as well, besides that line. So since it's kind of sitting there in the middle, I would be checking this after CPI just to see what happens, and then probably Iron Condor. Now, some people would have started at the bottom first because the premiums might be better down here. So, for example, we was to do 81% out of the money. So if we said 82%, or if we did, this one would be 88. If we did, so 600 would be 82% out the money. And then 595 would be 88% out the money, right? So 60. That's a 5 spread. So that's what I was saying. The price is closer to the bottom. So for a 5 spread, 88% out the money, it's not bad for that situation. So, but that's where I would definitely be looking in there to be able to do Iron Condor. I don't know what numbers Janae may have had, but those are the numbers that I see. Yeah, so we got the cherry up. So SPX is bouncing off of this lower price point right here. Well, actually, no, this is where it pushed through. It closed over here before, it looks like. What is this? March 18th. And then again, April 4th. So the April 4th point is where it is bouncing off of. Let me see. 15-minute. Yep, so it has not broken out, but the buyers are here. They ain't going nowhere. Right here. It has filled this gap. That was right here. Today is where it filled this gap. So yeah, it's bouncing off of the top, or shall I say the bottom of a gap. Yeah, that's the gap that we put in earlier. So it looks like it's trying to push up past that. So we'll see what ends up happening with CPI, which I know the numbers already came out, and I keep saying CPI. I'm referring to the meeting that's coming up after. We'll swing by Intel, INTC. They were also one of the other movers. And then, we already did our announcement for options for 411. Cancel this alert. We're going to clear this drawing set. So here we go with Intel. Intel is another one that, man, when you see their charts, like they do a lot. They will gap like crazy, like Tesla too. And I used to think it was all most of the tech stocks, but Microsoft doesn't gap the way Tesla and Netflix do. Neither does Apple. So we're gonna duplicate this, and we're gonna come down here. And I'm coming down this far because I see where it is touched this line before. Here, 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 here. So this looks like it may be stopping for the not stopping, but this is another point of interest, and I'm only going to put this here because I see where it was resistance before in the past. So I'm going to put that line there. I'm just going to change the size of it. Yeah, so this may or may not be a factor, but on the weekly, we're going to see that the overall channel is moving up. Overall, it looks like it's moving up in terms of going with a trend. However, what we do have is, let's just switch this to the weekly. So even though the overall trend is up, this is a pullback. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make the adjustment to this line. And there's a couple ways you can put this together, but I'm just looking for two lines to touch. So I will say something like that. And one of the movers that we have that was on the list is also one of the stocks that is on the earnings list. So that's Tilray. We're gonna take a look at Tilray, and that'll be the last one. I didn't see anything else in the chat box. And then we'll be out of your hair. So this is what I'm looking at. Snuff touches. This is a downtrend. For my Fibonacci people out there, you tell them the fib, right? Let's see here. Yeah, so this retraced 50% and came back down this way. So should be interesting. All right. Let's go with the daily. Gap down. See what I mean? Always some type of always something. The thing that's surprising with Netflix and when it gaps sometimes, I'm used to seeing stuff gap when there's earnings, and Netflix will gap when there's not any earnings. Like, not that's the only time people gap down or anything, but it'll be news about something else, and then Netflix gap down. I don't know what caused this latest one because I don't think that they didn't have earnings. This is a daily chart. They didn't. Did they have earnings on April 2nd? All right, so this is the gap that we're marking. The zone that it has fallen into is a monthly zone. This is the monthly price point right here that it has fallen into and actually followed through. And then right here, this was the turnaround point where it was resistance. It broke through there and went up, and it has been minding its business all the way through. There's also another gap right here. We can mark. So it's sitting right under a gap. I don't see any traditional buyer formations. There's another gap down here. See what I mean about the gaps? Oh my goodness. Good Lord. Some would consider this a cheer. I wouldn't necessarily argue with them. I will mark it as such. I'll show you why I have trouble seeing this one as a cheer. A couple different reasons, but because this wick goes up so high, that's one. I like for the chair to have a lower wick, and this one shoots down so low that it doesn't have a solid, like a smaller base, which to me represents a better chair. But I do always try to acknowledge whatever I'm seeing, whether I agree with it or not. So we're going to do that with the color gray. And we're going to go right extension on. Yep. Take this down. So at least we're acknowledging that something could be going on in this area. Because of the fact that we have a gap there anyway, we know something is bound to be resistance. Right? And this is gap. So there's enough down here. To me, the most solid formation down here is this one right here. Leg in, base, and the gap up for a leg out. And we'll mark the bottom of this as green for the daily. All right. The lines are not like straight at all, but so we are up here, but we got some spots to drop to on Intel. Yeah, seller zone, and then the buyer zone start down there. But this could very well turn around and start heading back up. Would not be out of the realm of possibility. I'm gonna bring this down here. So that's what I got for Intel. All right. SPX one more time. I don't know if anybody trades. Does anybody trade the stocks like airline stocks? Because Delta Airline, I believe, was also on the movers list. So this finally broke out. SPX finally broke out. It's pretty strong. candle coming out of here. Now the question is whether or not it's going to hit this line. This is where it turned around before. All right. So at this point, this 5180 could be, this is the part where it could be resistance. And do as I say it, that's when it starts happening. Be resistance and push it back. So we'll see. This was a gap down, right? It closed up here and it gap down. When you see a gap like that coming down, that means that it's sellers. This is a rush of sellers coming in. So as it tries to push back up, there may be some sellers all in here that's pushing the price back down. So that's what I'll be watching for. We're fighting against CPI. The minutes is coming up at 2:00, but also we do have, legit resistance right here. And I bet if we go further back, it's that line. This line right here is probably a line that's, multiple times right here. That line has been supporting resistance probably multiple times. So right there, resistance. So at least we know that's a line that has had activity in the past. If you're looking for the breakout, it is around now is the time that I normally would start looking. And what I'll be doing, come on. This is in. Oh, I put this in. This is a trade that I put in. Was it yesterday? PDT hack from yesterday. All right. So I usually round these numbers up. So in this case, I'll probably do 30 and go 5174 minus 30, which is be 5143. So I'll be like right here, which is 81% out the money. Because it's pushing up, I would not have a problem going down this far. Probably would be 5135 though. At 84% out the money. I do pay attention to things like open interest and volume. I'm down here, but these numbers, the volume is well over 7,000 for both of these. The open interest is still over 1,000 for both of these. So getting in and out of these trades, shouldn't be as difficult. The spread between these two is about 50 cents, if I'm seeing that right. Something like that. So I will be looking at that. We'll be doing YouTube AM. And we'll see what happens. This is on SPX. So I'm doing a put credit spread that just got accepted. This is the SIM. Y'all know how SIM is. So I did the put credit spread because price looks like it's moving up, even though I figured it probably will bounce off of there. But there's some strong buyers down here. So my price that I put in is 51, was a 51.35 area, which is down here. I'm right above this gap. So that's how that works. Right. So 51.35.30, which puts me well past the 29 that it should travel. Now, so my PCS is in. When we do the PDT hack, then, so I did that for the PCS. 5130 is where we bought 5130. and we sold 51.35 for the puts. So now I go over here to the calls and do the opposite trade. So now I'm going to buy where I sold on this leg, and I'm going to sell where I bought on that leg, right? So literally, it'll be the opposite. And I'm going to go check and see what was I given for 70 cents. So let's say so I'm gonna bring out my calculator so we can calculate. All right. So if I was thinking about getting in here, which obviously I'm already in, that's my collateral because of the spread. It's 5 spread, only one contract I'm doing. The spread times 100. My collateral technically spread times 100 minus the premium, but they gave me 70. So 430 is what I'm dealing with. I need to add what I want to make out of this deal to 430. In this case, I usually have to add $7 for fees based on that anyway. So if I was going to do anything, I'll be doing 40, right? So I should be making a little bit over 30. Did I do that right? I didn't do that right. I think I hit the wrong thing. 430s. If I want to make 40, 470. So that's why I'll put in the limit box right there. 470 right here. Now, in a second, I'll explain what's going on with the PDT hack and why I'm doing it this way. We talked about Axe options, I believe it was yesterday. So this price is going up. I have a PCS that's designed to, it's going to take advantage of the upward movement, right? That's what the PCS is assuming, that this is going to go up. I don't want to use a day trade. Okay. So when I got in on this side, what happens is when I go on the opposite side, I am selling and buying on the same strike. Selling and buying on the same strike on the opposite side. One of these sides is going to win this trade, right? The other one is automatically going to be against me. That's the way it's working. But the difference between the two is what will be my 30 or $40, or I'm subtracting fees. But that's what so once this side locks and I see position over here, once it gets to being right now it's at 4.25, 470 is what I requested. Once that locks, I'm done with that trade. I don't have to keep watching it. I don't have to make no adjustments. When it's locked, it's locked. No matter what the numbers say, because sometimes the numbers will make it look like you're killing it. You want to close it, but you let it expire. The trade expire once it's locked. So once the sign is accepted, that's the way it works. So all we're doing is we got in here, we got the money, whatever that risk was that was left over. This other side is designed to cover anything that's left over from side one and added what I wanted to it. That's what I put in the limit box. And once it's accepted, trade is locked. And then it frees, once it's locked over here, it frees up my collateral, that $500. I could reuse that $500 again, either for a same trade or another trade. Now, sometimes what will happen is the PDT will lock, but there's not a whole lot of movement, let's say, and I've gotten in on the exact same strikes. You don't overlap. If you decide to do it, like once you do something, don't go back and then overlap. Meaning, oh, I put here and here, or It needs to be the exact same play on both sides. So if you decide to get into the same thing on the same strikes, make sure you do it the same way. Buy, sell, sell, buy. But so this trade just accepted on my other side. So now that is locked in, I'm good. I don't have to worry about that trade. So again, one side will be one side will, you get the assigned excised email, but it's supposed to do that. But that's how I save a PD. That's how I save a day trade. I'm burning the day trade. That's only doing that on cash settled opportunities, not stocks. I will say it again. I do that on the cash settled, not stocks. You can try doing that with NVIDIA, but let's just say we'll say a friend told me that in my account it didn't work out well. Didn't work out well doing the PDT. Don't do what, Alyssa? I see. Don't do that. I don't know what that means. I thought PR. Somebody was asking for PR. I don't know what the don't do that is. Our list is very cryptic with her messages, y'all. Just so y'all know. I'll be like, what did you asking me?
I was saying don't do it on the non-cash settled
Oh,
things.
yeah, you got to say that part. The non-cash settled.
Yeah, when you were like, you could, but no, don't
No.
do that.
I didn't say
Don't do
you
the
could.
PDT
I never
hack
said you
on
could.
non. Yeah, you say you could, but no, it's just not gonna work out. Don't do that. Only on cash settled.
It's not wise. I did it on. I mean, my friend knows somebody that did it on.
Not you. It wasn't you.
I'm just saying, I got a friend
Oh,
that knows somebody.
you're asking for a friend. Is what they say.
Yeah, I'm confessing for somebody that's a friend who did NVIDIA with the PDT hack.
Mm.
Far be it from me to tell his business, Get it, putting his business on record. You know what I mean? It was in my account. I don't know how I got it in my account, but
Right.
you know what I mean? Like you a hacker? What are you doing?
You know how I got in your account. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that, please. Don't do it.
That's not a mistake you want to make.
Yeah, you don't. You don't. So it is running up towards on the daily. This is Permian Resources. This is running up on the daily. This is a nice buyer zone down here. Very clear with a little bit of a gap up right there. What you may hear sometimes we'll be talking about, not having to sit at your computer and be a hostage to this to the chart, and that PDT hack is an example of, now we've been sitting here, doing our thing, but honestly, there are people who they just, they just found a strategy that they like, something like the PDT hack. They get in, do what they need to do, and they out of there. Regardless of what your lifestyle is, there is a strategy that can fit it. It might take you a minute to find it, but there is one out there. That seems to be the case, and it seems to be consistent. Just find the one that works for you. Back test it. Back test some stuff and find one that works. This is the gap right here. And actually, I can probably bring this down a little bit. All depends. Right? So this is a nice little cushion right here. it decides to come back down. It must be turning around at a level or something. Let me see. Oh, it's at highs. My bad. I didn't see that. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. So we got, what is this? One level up, which is $18.01 on the monthly. So we do have some space up there. It's not showing up on the chat. I'm not close enough. What's going on here? I might need to change my list. Edit this. Yeah, I probably should do it. Some of these you might have to go back a little bit further just to see. Let me see. We're supposed to be up here. There you go. Had to go back. Yeah, man. We have to do some straight up time traveling. What is that? 18. Right here. So let's zoom in a little bit. What's the date on here? 12/30/04. Dude, they back to highs from 04. Goodness gracious. How is that not some kind of record? Okay. So in this case, it's a little bit choppy up here. If I'm doing this on the daily, I probably would. If I'm looking for a strong zone, I don't know. First thing I'll do up here, we already acknowledging that this is weekly, so that's good. In order to get, I guess, if we're going for the strongest leg outs, we would be right here, leg in, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the base, and then leg out right there. But I do have a feeling that the weekly would have a stronger zone, a stronger formation. And over here, was that 320? What's this thing doing? Let me go to time axis. Still haven't figured out why it does that so much. On the week, got to give everybody the max. Fine. That's right, because I could only go. That was back to 04. So, yeah. I gotta give it some more time to scroll back to. Okay. So we're at 818. We're on the weekly. So this is the area. This is an area where we have a seller zone here. Just do this. All right. I would have this up here and put leg in, 2 on the base, leg out. So I would do that. But we got there's resistance. I mean, there's a reason why it's stuttering over there on the other side, close to the price. But this is where I would put that. And then this is where it's about to hit. So this could be a serious retest moment. We're going to swing back to SPX in a second. This is the 4-hour chart, and there's a leg in, base, leg out. It's actually really gone through that a little bit, but this would be the last seller zone, and the last buyer zone is down here. So these zones are getting closer together as well. So that'll be something to watch, but it's on the run up. I don't know what company this is. If I'm guessing, I'm gonna assume it might be something with precious metals or something. It wouldn't surprise me if it's in that vein. See, would we be looking at this? I would not be even trying to I wouldn't even be trying to trade it. Because it don't even have that many. You're forced to only be with, look, there's only 3 expirations. Nah, I wouldn't be messing with this one. Yeah, nope. Nope. Oh, natural gas and oil. Okay, cool. What happened, Jamie? Were your friend, giving the shares in video? Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Tomorrow. Giving the shares of NVIDIA is how it ended up shaking out. At the time, so this is like a year, was it a year? Last year? It was like when I first started learning it. Yeah. So then it's up to you to sell the shares and all that other stuff. But yep, that's what happened because it wasn't cash settled. We want the cash settled. Now, if it's a situation, because I'm trying to remember if it's, yeah, you get those shares, you can hold them if you want to. I recall that right. I was more in a panic state of mind, so it's like, what is going on? It was a great test. 4-hour chart, SPX. Actually, sorry, I meant to go 15-minute. So now, okay, so this is what happened. This is what had happened was, so this went up, tested this line, 5180, it's the Mancini one, came down, went back around, right? So it started retracing. Why am I not worried? Because the PDT hack is already locked in. I was down at, I started at 5130, 5135. So 5135 is here. So this is where my trade is. If this thing even comes down and goes through this, my trade is locked in. So that's one of the advantages. Yes, thank you, Tamar. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with us. My trade is down here and it's already locked in. So with the PDT hack, so I'm good. This looks like it's trying to form a sell zone here too. And if this is a buy zone, this is another zone on top of zone situation. So boom. All right. So y'all been hanging out, man. This is really cool. I'm done. We're gonna go ahead and before we bounce out of here, ding 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 ding, ding, cash flow. Our cash flow game is this Saturday, the second Saturday of April. Abril, is that how you say it in Spanish? Cash flow. If you're familiar with Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, wrote the book. There's a board game called Cash Flow that is connected to the game. We play online, Educated the Trader. It's open to everybody. Feel free to join us. The idea is we learn, how to get out of the rat race. Really for the trading community is more so about, okay, what can we do with this money that we trade with? what are some other things we can do? And cash flowing is one of the things we can do. And so if you want to play and be on the board, it's 6 slots per game. You can sign up at richdad.com. You can get your free profile on richdad.com. As a matter of fact, I'll show you where to go because you will need to. So you can do sign up. This is the version that we play. Join a free game of Cash Flow Classic. It's called Cash Flow Classic. There's more than one version of the game, and so you would sign up here, get your email, you'll come here, and then do login. But Cash Flow Classic is the one you want to go to. The Rich Dad Poor Dad book is available on YouTube as an audio book. So, definitely feel free to listen to it. I have the actual book and I have listened to the audio book multiple times. But the game is about multiple streams of income. You learn about budgeting, credit, real estate. It's great financial education. The idea is, for us as traders to learn how to cash flow. If you have not trouble, if the conversation about finances and money is not something that you have had in your background, this is a fun way for you to learn it. And then you and your ecosystem can get on and play yourself. I own a board game. I have played live at my house. I played in cash flow clubs. There are clubs worldwide. And yeah, so it's a fun time. We usually have somebody is usually working on something in the cash flow capacity. So we've learned a lot playing the game. So 11 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Eastern this Saturday. I got to add Eastern to that. And yeah, I'll be hosting it. And we always have some good laughs and have a good time. And hope to see you there. Again, no cost to join us. So our E2T daily declaration: by faith, I am a successful trader. I am a wise and knowledgeable trader. I make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. Money likes me. Dinero me encanta. Because money is comfortable around me, it is drawn to me. E2T daily prayer: Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. All right. Thank y'all so much for hanging. Really, truly appreciate you. The feedback in the inbox. I was looking to see if there's any, I guess you could say, negative information for us so far. And what is this? Crude oil inventories is lower than projected, it looks like. EIA weekly distillates stocks is lower than projected. And of course, gasoline inventories would be lower than projected. All right. So I'm just looking through this stuff for the US. It's Canada. Yep, it is. Oh, we were all agreeing on CPI, so we just wait for the minutes. All right. Before we cut out, let's see what the futures is talking about. Down. The Dow is down 1.12%. The S&P futures down 1.05%. NAS futures is down 1.20%. We were talking about the VIX being up. So it is up 5.27% to 1577. All right. Last reported. Looks like the Russell 2K is down 2.19%. NASDAQ down 1.07%. S&P 500 is down 1%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 1.11%. All right. So we will bid you adieu, and we thank you for hanging out with us. We hope you have a profitable trading day. You stay green and get this money, and we will see you in the market. If not, we will we will see you in the Telegram group. All right. All right. Have a good one.